Welcome to your brief news brief presented by the Life Given Radio. I'm your host, Isaac Lopez. Today we've got quite a few stories to get to, so without further ado, let's jump in. The NBA Finals is underway, and Meyers Leonard is a center for the Miami Heat, and he has come under fire recently for not kneeling for the national anthem. Yes, we are starting to see a pattern with this. With his team in the national spotlight because of the prominence of the NBA Finals, Leonard's stance on the anthem has been highlighted by the cancel mob on Twitter. In response, in an article on The Undefeated, Leonard said, "I 100% know that my teammates aren't kneeling to disrespect the flag or the military. They have their reasons for protest and equality, and I respect that and honor that. At the same time, I have my reasons to stand, and they respect me for that too. They have embraced me, in fact. I'm so darn thankful that they have, because they know I'm pure in the heart and in the fight with them as well." He continues on, saying that after game one of the NBA Finals, he was shocked to see that his name was trending on Twitter. Some of the things that he heard after game one were hurtful. People were calling him a racist and countless other things. It was unfortunate. And he says, "It's unfortunate because I want everyone to like me. I know the reality is that's not going to happen. But when my character comes into question, when I've clearly done my best to show in many different ways what I stand for, who I am, whether you want to believe me or not, it hurts. There are some people behind me who have said, 'Look, leave this dude alone.' And I'm thankful for that. At the end of the day, I can't make everyone happy or believe me, but I'm going to do my darn best," end quote. Now, obviously, I'm screening some of this language for you, as he does not type darn in his letter, but he does conclude with this interesting statement. "If I got a random phone call in the middle of class in college, guess what? I'm walking out of that room because it might be my brother, and it could be the last darn time I get to talk to him. I put my hand over my heart and stand for that national anthem because of the real and raw emotion I feel towards that. There are times when I hear the anthem and I have to put my head down because I think vividly of my brother and other people who have fought for this country." And so we see a different response to maybe what the classic response is to people kneeling for the anthem. And this man has expressed his opinions in sympathy for both sides. In other news, a new pro-life movie has come out. Order of Rights is a new movie that just hit many streaming platforms in the last week or so. This film is from the perspective of a father fighting for the life of his unborn child. The directors of the film, in a recent interview on the Steve Deace show, said they were excited because they had feedback that was a fair representation of both sides of the abortion debate. I am planning on giving this a watch, and if any of you have seen it, reach out to me and let me know. I think that it looks like an interesting movie. The trailer link is in the show notes. Now, as we turn to really the mainstay of this show, that is COVID-19. We've discussed a lot about it on this show, and we have three different stories from three different angles on this. Governor Brad Little recently had an email circulating from his office on COVID-19, and he said that the COVID-19 emergency order follows state law and takes responsible measured steps to protect our loved ones and neighbors. It does not take away or infringe on Idahoans' constitutional rights. It does not shut down Idaho, and it does not give local governments the authority to create and enforce local mask orders. We will see how much this will impact cities like Moscow that continue to promulgate their panic propaganda. To go hand in hand with this news, Latah County has been placed on the minimal risk of COVID-19 list per Moscow report. You can see that report in the show notes as well. In good news, President Trump is recovering quickly from the coronavirus. He was just released from Walter Reed Medical Center on Monday and is on the mend. He tweeted out that, quote, "I am looking forward to the debate on the evening of Thursday, October 15th in Miami. It will be great." So he's already casting his vision and locking in for his next round of debates with the former Vice President Joe Biden. And if he uses this right, it could be a huge aid to his ethos. In conclusion to the stories, German doctors say that COVID-19 is more fake than real. People will only be bullied for so long, as we have discussed in shows past, before they start pushing back. In Germany, we have seen a group of 500 doctors and scientists form a committee to investigate the government of Germany's actions when it comes to lockdowns. The committee is called Corona Extra Parliamentary Inquiry Committee. If that wasn't a mouthful, we can just call it the CEPIC. Not that that's any easier to say, but this was established to investigate all things that pertain to the new coronavirus, such as the severity of the virus and whether or not the actions taken by governments around the world, and in this case, the German government, are justified and are causing more harm than good. Now, this is a quote from one of the doctors, according to this article, that is at the head of this committee. And he says, as the Corona Extra Parliamentary Inquiry Committee, we will investigate why these restrictive measures were imposed upon us in our country as part of COVID-19, why people are suffering now, and whether there is proportionality of the measures to this disease caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus. We have serious doubts that these measures are proportionate. This needs to be examined, and since the parliaments, neither the opposition parties nor the ruling parties, have not convened a committee, and it is not even planned, it is high time that we took this into our own hands. We will invite and hear experts in the Corona Speaker Group. These are experts from all areas of life: medicine, social affairs, law, economics, and many more. So we're starting to see more of a balance when it comes to taking the advice and the advice from medical experts, and not only from the scientific field, but also looking into the social arena, law, and economics. And I think that there can only be good that comes from this committee. More on that later, as we see it is not just the United States who is struggling with government overreach, but it is worldwide. In conclusion, I just want to finish up the brief news brief with just some thoughts that a lot of these stories are people reacting to or struggling to come out of the haze that has settled on 2020. It has been a crazy year for everyone, and that does not exclude those outside of the United States of America. This podcast really does focus on national and local news, but really a lot of these stories are happening outside of the US as well as inside. And so we can only imagine that our Christian brothers are facing different challenges around the world, but mankind who men who stand for freedom around the world are also facing these certain challenges, and people are trying to wake up and shake off the haze that has really been just doom and gloom throughout all of 2020. And we have started to see that, whether it's Meyers, Leonard, basketball players, football players, we've seen doctors all trying to speak some ounce of reason into this. And even though I may not agree with Meyers Leonard wholeheartedly on for why the only reason he's standing, I do think that he is trying to just voice his opinion without being canceled. And that's something that as Christians, we should be championing the freedom of speech. And I would like to hear what you guys have to say about all of these stories. Reach out to me at thelifegivenandreceived@gmail.com. Stay tuned to the Life Given Radio. We have a couple of podcasts that are going to be hitting our platform soon. One probably here in the next week or so. So do stay tuned for that. The next news brief will be out on Friday morning. And as always, remember that the life that you have been given and the life that you have received includes every area of life. Why should current events be the exception? God bless.